The HBCU First Look Film Let's Talk series is touring historically Black colleges and bringing experienced Hollywood film and TV executives, producers, directors, writers, content creators, and influencers for informative conversations on how to build a career in entertainment. We're looking for the next Spike Lee, Ruth Carter, Will Packer, hailing from the HBCU community. Are you the next? Get ready for an inspiring, empowering, and enlightening conversation. The Let's Talk series with Hollywood movers and shakers. On this episode, we are exploring the world of casting and costume design with award-winning casting director Kim Taylor Coleman and a two-time Academy Award-winning costume designer Ruth E. Carter. Hosted by the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences Visiting Artist Series at the HBCU First Look Film Festival, we learn more about the careers of these talented HBCU alumni. It's the HBCU First Look Film Let's Talk HBCU Alum Fireside Chat, moderated by Tim Gordon with the HBCU First Look Film Festival.
We are here today, and guys, first of all, thank you guys for coming out. I love the crowd. I see a lot of students in the building. I see different HBCU sweaters in here. Do we have anybody here who doesn't go to Howard University? Yeah, I guess I was right when I said I see some other sweaters. Thank you guys for being out here today. Before we get started with the conversation with our two incredible guests, two-time Academy Award-winning costume designer Ruth E. Carter and casting director Kim Taylor Coleman, I'd like to thank all the veterans for their service. We have any other veterans in the building? A couple of us. I'm a veteran, so I'm saying other than that, thank you, you wonderful people, for your service. I'm Tim Gordon. I am I don't even want to say it this way. I am a 3-decade film critic, president of the Washington, D.C. Area Film Critic Association, among a lot of other things that I cannot mention because of where we are today. So I've done a lot of things in film, and I'll just leave it at that. And I'm saying that because we're at the Academy series, so I am promoting Academy activity today. Now, today's conversation with Ruth and Kim is part of the Academy's Visiting Artist Series, which facilitates practical educational opportunities for learning institutions and festivals to invest in broader awareness and education in film. Our first panelist is Kim Taylor Coleman. Kim Taylor Coleman is a Los Angeles-based casting director known for her work in film and television. She has received 2 Emmy nominations for her casting work on the acclaimed Emmy-nominated television shows Lovecraft Country and American Crime. Her latest television work includes Unprisoned, The Umbrella Academy Season 3, The Upshaws, P-Valley, Snowfall, to name a few. She's received 5 Artuous Awards from the Casting Society of America for Excellence in Casting for her work on Spike Lee's Oscar-winning film Black Klansman, HBO's Lovecraft Country, Netflix Dear White People, and feature films Dope and Zola. Kim is a CSA member and is a governor for the casting directors branches of the Academy for Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences, and the Television Academy, and was recently elected Vice President, Chair of History and Preservation of the Academy of Motion Pictures, Arts and Sciences. But before we bring Kim out, let's take a look at some of her work.
There's never been a black cop in this city. We think you might be the man to open things up around here.
We must unite and we must organize to fight racism.
That's us, Stallworth Brothers.
Recently, I planned and set in motion events to execute the perfect bank robbery.
You planned every inch of this thing right from the start. You got everybody marching to your beat, including me, and I'm through buying it.
We bury it. They don't. We come back and collect.
Who was that guy?
That brother was the best damn soldier that ever lived.
Excuse me, kind sir, but if you could point me to the elevator that leads down to the Peaky Laboratory, I want out your atmosphere.
You want to go somewhere with me?
This is messy. You are messy. Your brain is broke.
Dear white people,
The minimum requirement of Black friends needed to not seem racist has just been raised to 2.
Welcome to Chirac.
Everybody here got a man banging and slanging, risking that long zip of the cadaver bag. All to the bang, bang. Bang, bang.
You plan on starting to buy real estate in white-only neighborhoods, Mr. Gary?
That's exactly what we're gonna do.
Ladies and gentlemen of the jury, how y'all doing? Litigation is war. It's a battle. Bam! And I'm not talking about no bullshit either. I'm talking about some Jean-Claude Van Damme ass-kicking shit.
I wish you were little.
What in the black sheep?
Get back to work.
Whose child is this walking around here in a tiny pink pantsuit?
You're not gonna do the work? Drop the class.
No, Gary, hey, I'm gonna do the work. You'll see.
We'll see.
Yes, we will.
Great.
Superb.
Excellent.
Good.
Being the guy who finds the guy matters in this business.
You are in the good hands of generations of tradition and honorable brothers.
I want you to take that passion and lead by example.
So right now. Right now.
Right now.
Cheers, huh?
I need you to be happy because we can't be sad together, you hear me? You are the only person that makes me feel safe.
He wouldn't cheat on you, would he?
He's not getting it from me, he's getting it from somewhere. You lie and you cheat. How far do you want to go?
Common criticism of you, your music isn't black enough.
Look, I don't know how to sing black and I don't know how to sing white either. I know how to sing.
This was my boy, Emmett Till.
The lynching of my son has shown me that what happens to any of us, anywhere in the world, had better be the business of us all.
I don't know if you know how extraordinary this is, but you have made it 100 miles to freedom all by yourself. Would you like to pick a new name to mark your freedom?
Harritum. You're confident, composed. When trouble comes, you'll be ready.
I am never giving up on us.
Peace!
Wow. Wow, wow, wow. Ladies and gentlemen, Kim Coleman Taylor. Wow. That's pretty impressive.
So HU? Thank you.
You are so, you didn't need to do that.
The Let's Talk series with Hollywood movers and shakers. The 2024 HBCU First Look Film Festival and Challenge is here. Join us this November 8th through 10th at Howard University for amazing film screenings, enlightening workshops, celebrity guest appearances, internship opportunities, and more. Submit your film by August 28th for a chance to win a cash prize and internship opportunity. Secure your stay with our hotel packages at the Residence Inn by Marriott. For more information, visit hbcufirstlook.com.
I know skincare guides you through your unique skin conditions, sensitivities, and challenges as it matures through life's transformation. I know provides highly effective skincare products with natural ingredients formulated to offer solutions and deliver effective moisturizing results, giving your skin the hydration it needs while reducing the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. I know. It's time for a new relationship with your skincare. It's time to embrace you, your melanin-rich skin, and its unique beauty needs.
When you get over the age of 50, you definitely have to start using things on your skin.
I Know is made specifically to address maturing skin conditions. All of the I Know products provide highly effective natural ingredients dedicated to delivering proven results.
The best advice my mother gave me, take care of your skin now so to take care of you later.
I Know, your beauty solution for maturing skin.
The Let's Talk series with Hollywood movers and shakers.
How are you, young lady? That was an impressive reel. You have done some amazing work over the course, I think you're sitting on it. You got it? Yeah, I think you have done some amazing work over the last 25 years, and we're going to talk a little bit about it really quickly. So Kim, when I was doing the research, you and I were laughing backstage about this because, you know, it was hard to find information on you. I was like, so secretive. Yeah. But your work speaks for itself. So can you share your journey that led you to becoming interested in a career in casting?
Right. Well, you know, as a young girl, I would watch old movies and TV shows with my grandmother Dee Dee, and I was just fascinated by the actors and the costumes and the makeup and the stories, and I just always wanted to be in that business. So it was a long journey, and in high school, you know, then the drama club. I'm from Baltimore. Yeah, from Baltimore.
You're from Baltimore?
I'm from Baltimore.
I'm just learning this.
I'm from Baltimore, and I moved to California in the early 80s with my boyfriend at the time, who is now my husband of 38 years. And we have one daughter, you know, Winter Coleman, who attended Howard, and she's a photographer, writer, director. And over the years, I worked in the fashion industry for quite a few years. I worked on Rodeo Drive. I started as a stock girl, and I just wanted to be a sponge and learn everything that I could. When I was working in this store, it was one of the stores that all the movie stars, you know, attended. They shopped there. There was a bar inside the store. We had a Rolls Royce that would go to the movie stars' homes and take clothes there, and they would try them on and purchase them. And I just liked that world and said, this is, you know, I think this is something I could do. So I worked my way up from a stock girl to eventually becoming a manager on Rodeo Drive. And I was one of the first black female managers to manage the very famous perfume back in the 80s called Giorgio of Beverly Hills. So I worked there, and then afterwards I was going to open a retail store, and the finances didn't work out. So I said, what's next? So I actually went home and said, I'm going to really try a shot in the entertainment business, but the only thing I knew about entertainment was talent agencies. So I literally went through, it's called the Yellow Pages, and I'm sure you guys don't know what that is, but
that's before their time.
Before your time, a phone book, and I started at the A's, and when I got to C's, I called this company called Creative Artists Agency, and I didn't know who they were. And they said, come in for an interview. Interviewed, and at the time I didn't know they were one of the biggest agencies in entertainment. And they offered me a job to work for the CFO. And I said, sure, you know, I'll take anything. And I worked there for about, I think, 3 months. And I met a friend who was an agent, a talent agent, and she said, Kim, every Monday we would meet in the mailroom and talk about what television shows and movies we saw and we liked. And she said, you should get in the casting. You're really good at this. I think you'll be great. And I said, well, how do you do that? She said, you have to intern, but back in the day you would intern, it was unpaid, not paid. So I'm like, oh, I already have a job, then, you know, I'm making money. So that's a hard call. But she said, I'm going to send you a script, you read it, I'll hook you up with the casting director. Read the script, it was a little dark for me, but I said, I'll meet the casting director. I met him, his name is Billy Hopkins, he's a casting director extraordinaire, he's still casting, and he said, I can't pay you, but I'll teach you everything about casting. And I made the choice, and you know, my boyfriend and I made the choice to say, look, if you want to go for it, let's go for it. And I quit CAA, and I went to intern for 2 months for no pay. I worked from sun up to sundown. And the movie was Seven. That was my first movie I ever worked on with Brad Pitt and Morgan Freeman and David Fincher. was a director, and I have to say, I was hooked because when, at the end of the movie, when the credits came up, it was my first credit saying casting assistant, and I said, oh, I'm gonna do this. So I decided to just work my way up, and I interned with so many other casting directors because I really wanted to learn the business and, you know, learn as much as I can, and that's what I did. I just worked my way up. I worked with Vicki Thomas, who's a great casting director. I worked with her for 5 years, and I was her assistant, then her associate, then we partnered, and then I went out on my own.
So I know we're talking primarily to a lot of students. Do we have anybody in the room who has interest in wanting to be in casting? Okay, so this is good, because this next question, we'll go and touch that one. Now, you talked about your journey as it relates to having a job, being attracted to this job, learning everything you could from Billy Hopkins back in the early 90s. Yeah. But what are the essential qualities that one would need if they would want to be in casting?
Well, it's one of those, I think, careers that there's no direct pathway, you know? It's, I think, to obviously get into casting, there are great programs, casting programs at studios, networks, at the Academy of Motion Picture Arts and Sciences. So many more internships than there were when I was coming up. And, you know, a lot of them are paid. And, you know, it's knowing someone like me or my colleagues, and if you're interested, you know, to reach out to us. And it's basically on-the-job training. I think that's where you get most of the knowledge. And, you know, to be a great casting director, I just think you need an eye for talent. You build that. You get to, you know, I watch every TV show, every movie. I read every magazine. You know, I go to plays. I like to know who's on Broadway, who's on off-Broadway, who's in London. So you have to really, it's like being an actor, you know. An actor, that's your instrument. So the more you know, the more you're gonna be better at your job. So it's just a lot of different things. I mean, I help out young actors and folks who want to get in casting all the time. It's like, you know, reach out. Folks know me now. I know certain people, and, you know, you have to, the only advice I can say is you have to really work hard. You have to show folks that you're serious about it. You're gonna put in the time, put in the work. Nothing happens overnight. I know sometimes it seems like it does, but you know, just put in the work and do your thing and just love what you do. Like, I'm very blessed and fortunate to do something that I love.
The Let's Talk series with Hollywood movers and shakers. The Let's Talk series with Hollywood movers and shakers.
So Kim, we're gonna explore. We're gonna dig a little deeper, but I want to bring Ruth out here first so she can join our conversation.
Yes.
Now, Ruthie Carter is a 2-time Oscar winner for Black Panther and Black Panther: Wakanda Forever. She made history as the first African American to win costume design category and the most winning African American woman in Academy history. She's a 4-time Oscar nominee, which includes Malcolm X, Amistad. Mrs. Carter has a total of 58 feature film credits: Do the Right Thing, What's Love Got to Do with It, The Butler, and Selma. And she's also received the Costume Designers Guild Career Achievement Award. Now, before we bring Ruth out, let's take a look at some of her work.
Plymouth Rock landed on us. Big Brother Almighty.
again.
You must be Black Dynamite.
All in favor, raise your hand. Respect. If you can't do that, then go.
Resist.
They're gonna kill my children.
That means march. That means disturb the peace.
We ain't slaves no more.
The only way to get through a bigot's door is to break it down.
Whose side you on?
Dolomite.
What a totally unexpected surprise.
I am loyal to the throne.
For the tribe!
Sir!
We are vegetarians.
And that's the Tarut rule.
Ladies and gentlemen, Ruth E. Carter. You are so extra, Ruth.
When do I ever get a chance to be extra? This is the time.
You know, between both of you guys, I'm looking at these reels, and some of my favorite films are on these reels, and I'm like, wow. You guys, man, just like touched by a hand of God, both of you guys being involved in these projects.
Yes. Yes. Kim has an incredible body of work. I feel 10 times older than you. I'm like, oh, I remember that, and Burial just came out.
The Let's Talk series with Hollywood movers and shakers. The 2024 HBCU First Look Film Festival and Challenge is here. Join us this November 8th through 10th at Howard University for amazing film screenings, enlightening workshops, celebrity guest appearances, internship opportunities, and more. Submit your film by August 28th for a chance to win a cash prize and internship opportunity. Secure your stay with our hotel packages at the Residence Inn by Marriott. For more information, visit hbcufirstlook.com.
I know skincare guides you through your unique skin conditions, sensitivities, and challenges as it matures through life's transformation. I know provides highly effective skincare products with natural ingredients formulated to offer solutions and deliver effective moisturizing results, giving your skin the hydration it needs while reducing the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. I know. It's time for a new relationship with your skincare. It's time to embrace you, your melanin-rich skin, and its unique beauty needs.
When you get over the age of 50, you definitely have to start using things on your skin.
I Know is made specifically to address maturing skin conditions. All of the I Know products provide highly effective natural ingredients dedicated to delivering proven results.
The best advice my mother gave me, take care of your skin now so to take care of you later.
I Know, your beauty solution for maturing skin.
Let's Talk series with Hollywood movers and shakers.
All right, ladies. So, Ruth, I got a couple of questions for you.
All right.
Before I ask your question, do we have any potential costume designers in the room? Anybody interested in
That would
costume
be a
design?
surprise. Let's see. Okay, sit her up front. I need her up front.
No,
And two
but I'm
over
saying
here.
you're gonna drop some.
Keep my eye on you.
She's gonna drop some pearls. You're gonna get some pearls for her in a second.
Yes, you sit right here.
So Ruth, what inspired you to become a costume designer? And you're a builder of cinematic worlds. Describe for us the costume designer's role in the filmmaking process and creating the character aesthetic.
Whew, that's a three-part question. What inspired me to become a costume designer? I really like, there's a lot of things that inspired it, but I really like the transformation process. I love when an actor comes into the fitting room and they're just their regular self. They're in sweats or jeans, or they just finished working out and they are naked. And then we go through a process of transformation. I have done research and I've accumulated all kinds of pieces, articles of clothing, props are there, and we go on this journey of turning into a character. And I think once you have that experience, especially with these gifted actors, Denzel, Angela, Chadwick, you are hooked. As an artist, it's an art form. It really is. It's your way of expressing some of the details of creating a character. It really is an art form. And I've always, all my life, have been around art in some kind of, two of my brothers were fine artists. One was a painter, one was a sketch artist. So I just, in being at home in this environment where there were always sketch pads and we were always drawing together, and my older brother really knew fine art, and he would tell us stories about other artists. So when I finally became a theater arts major at Hampton University, I realized that I could go on a journey with actors that also explored art. I had to do a color palette. I had to do a character arc, how they started, what was the height of their life, how are we in this story, where are we in this story? Sorry. And I was just hooked on the exploration and how many different roads that I could go down, with plays and with, once I got into feature films, and School Days was the first film that I did, and it was about an HBCU, and all of the pledges, all those costumes they wear, I was hooked.
Gamified. So
G5G.
G5G. So you talk about your time at Hampton. Are there any experiences that you picked up while you were there as an undergrad that stayed with you and are woven into your work even now?
Well, I was the costume designer at Hampton. That's who I was. Once I did a play, I was known on campus as the costume designer, and I loved that role. Anytime the music department had something, they'd go find Ruth. The fraternities were doing something. They did a remake of the Thriller video, and they would go find Ruth. And I did all the plays, and it actually gave me an identity, a sense of, purpose and identity really early. And also, it was telling the story of Black culture, which I really loved. A Raisin in the Sun, Sty of the Blind Pig, A Day of Absence. We studied spoken word, Sonia Sanchez, Ed Bullins, so I fell in love with it. Plus, we were in the South in Virginia, where the history of African Americans in this country is rich. You could actually see it and feel it. So I just really wanted to tell our story.
So you were acting, though, and designing simultaneously.
Yeah, I was a really good actor, too. Kim.
Well, I saw the pictures. They're in the book.
Kim, I was a really good actor. I could go back to it. I really could. I think that ship has sailed. But I didn't make an audition for a play, and the professor who was directing the play, he said, you want to do the costumes? We don't have anybody to do the costumes. I said, I want to do the costumes. And I said, okay. And he gave me the key to the costume shop that was located on the second floor of the Little Theater at Hampton. And it was a ghost land. Nobody was in there. But the year before, someone was teaching costume design, so it was fully equipped. It had stock in there, it had a sewing machine. And, as a kid, I had taught myself how to sew. And as a kid, my brothers and I, we explored art and drawing. So when I was given the opportunity, I was like, okay, I'm going to sketch the characters. I actually went to the library, remember those? And wow. I looked up costume design, and I looked up how much money they make and what their responsibilities were. And I started sketching the first play. I just drew everything, and then I made it all. I went to Joann's Fabrics, bought a bunch of fabrics and patterns, and I was determined. Now, nobody would have made all of the costumes, but I did. And I used some of the stock that was there at Hampton, and I just loved it.
The Let's Talk series with Hollywood movers and shakers. The Let's Talk series with Hollywood movers and shakers.
Let's talk to you about the process of, as agents are pitching talent to you for various projects. Discuss the process of how your vision for a particular role and an actor's read translates to what you want for a character. Microphone.
So I'm not used to using this. Going to a project with, prototypes and archetypes of, and actors that I know would be right for the characters, but it's just important for me, dealing with agents and managers, to sort of open up, to try new things and new ideas. And I rely on them to introduce me to some new talent, from all over the world. And, I watch their reels. I may audition them for something to see what level of skill they're at. And, I cast a wide net just to learn things about the story and the character that, some actors will surprise you. And, seeing and hearing the lines on the page, certain actors come in and I can audition five actors in the same scene, and the interpretations are all different. So it's always very, very, very interesting, and it can be exciting. And sometimes it changes the character development for the producers or the directors based on these auditions.
So Kim, you're saying that you could have multiple people come in and do a read, and they can read it, as you said, 5 different ways. From a decision-making standpoint, I know you're working in collaboration with with the creatives, the other creatives, the directors.
Yes, mainly directors, yes.
So how does that affect, how do you go about selecting that person in a situation like that?
Well, I think 2 things. There's certain directors that I've worked with over the years, and we sort of have a shorthand. I pretty much know what type of actor and, that they would respond to. And, I go in with certain roles. It's like, this person, I know they'll do a great job, they'll be great. The director or producers will respond to them. And then a lot of times I'll just throw a ringer in and someone that I've auditioned who I think would be great and gave a great reading and a different interpretation, and I present those actors as well. So it depends. And a lot of times with some of my directors that I've worked with over the years, like I didn't see that coming. I like that take on the characters. So it's a part of the audition process is also part of helping the director and the creatives with the character development as well.
All right. I like that answer. All you potential casting folks, I hope you're picking this stuff up. This is good stuff from
and actors.
Absolutely.
You know?
Now, Ruth, you and Spike Lee go back, God, almost 4 decades now.
4 decades?
4 decades.
40 years. We do not go back 40 years. What's 87? I started with him in 87. How many years is that?
Okay, so we're about 37.
Isn't 4 decades 40 years?
Yeah. No. 4 decades are the 80s, 90s, 2000s. Yeah. Go with the bit.
Hold up now. Don't bring a wheelchair up here.
Now watch this. I'm not the time police. Okay. I'm just charting time. But
we have 25 years together.
Okay.
I have 35 plus years in the industry. Don't I look good? Thank you.
So I bought your book, which I have sitting here in the front row, and I was able to scan through it. So I already know the answer to this, but for people who have not purchased the book yet, how did you meet Shelton Spike Lee?
Let's see. Spike had done a movie called She's Gotta Have It. It hadn't gone to the Cannes Film Festival yet. He came out to LA, and I was a costume designer for a dance company called, by a choreographer named Otis Salid, and it was called A Night for Dancing. And it was to the music of Stevie Wonder, and it was fabulous. And people from all over LA crowded into this little dance studio in South Central to see this dance performance. And I had convinced this choreographer that they needed a costume designer. So I was working in a theater, a local theater, and I had access to their stock. So I'd go in the stock room and I was like, yeah, that's good for the dance performance. I'm gonna take that, I'm gonna take that. And so I created the costumes for this dance theater. And one day Spike Lee came, and he watched the show amongst everyone else who was packed in there. And I had my portfolio with me. And a friend of mine we were all about the same age, and we were all kind of trying to get our feet into the film industry. And I asked her, I said, can I show you my portfolio? I need some help. I'm going around with it. I'm not getting any work. And she said, sure. And at intermission, I opened up my book and I was showing her. She was like a lighting designer. And she was looking at a lot of sketches I had in my portfolio that hadn't been realized. Like I would read a play and sketch the costumes just for my portfolio. And Spike looked over the shoulder. Then after the show, we all went out to a club. We were going to clubs I was going to a club at one time. And he was talking to me about getting film experience. He said, go to USC, go to UCLA, sign up in the film department to volunteer on a student film, usually a senior thesis project. He said, they have the same equipment, they have the same everything as the big Hollywood movies, and you'll get film experience. So I did. And on the weekends, I was hearing quiet on the set. We're rolling for the first time. I was like, what? Why we gotta be quiet? And I saw 2 people on a swing talking. And I thought to myself, what is this? I've been doing Molière. I have been doing Shakespeare. I have had an internship in the opera. These 2 people on a swing, what is this? And I thought, how can I have a voice in this medium, how does this translate into what I do? Because I was used to costumes, like big costumes, and here they were like small microcosms of an interpretation of a character. Everything was small. And shortly after, I'm gonna tell this story. One early morning, before the sun came up, I got a call. The person on the other line said, Ruth. I said, yes, Ruth. Yes, Ruth. You remember that from She's Gotta Have It? He said, this is the man of your dreams. And I was like, Denzel? And he's like, no, this is Spike. And I want you to do School Days. That's how we met.
I love how you took us on the entire journey.
I have to. I'm a storyteller. I told you I'm a storyteller.
And you know what? I appreciate that journey. I love that.
The Let's Talk series with Hollywood movers and shakers. The 2024 HBCU First Look Film Festival and Challenge is here. Join us this November 8th through 10th at Howard University for amazing film screenings, enlightening workshops, celebrity guest appearances, internship opportunities, and more. Submit your film by August 28th for a chance to win a cash prize and internship opportunity. Secure your stay with our hotel packages at the Residence Inn by Marriott. For more information, visit hbcufirstlook.com.
I Know Skincare guides you through your unique skin conditions, sensitivities, and challenges as it matures through life's transformation. I Know provides highly effective skincare products with natural ingredients formulated to offer solutions and deliver effective moisturizing results, giving your skin the hydration it needs while reducing the appearance of fine lines and wrinkles. I know. It's time for a new relationship with your skincare. It's time to embrace you, your melanin-rich skin, and its unique beauty needs.
When you get over the age of 50, you definitely have to start using things on your skin.
I Know is made specifically to address maturing skin conditions. All of the I Know products provide highly effective natural ingredients dedicated to delivering proven results.
The best advice my mother gave me, take care of your skin now so to take care of you later.
I Know, your beauty solution for maturing skin.
The Let's Talk series with Hollywood movers and shakers.
So for Kim, we talked earlier about, when I followed up with when you talk about the different interpretations of these different reads, but the relationship between a casting director and a director is a really special relationship. You guys your visions have to align, and you got to select these characters that are gonna be in these stories. Discuss the responsibility of getting that element of the story correct.
Yeah, the relationship between a director and a casting director, it's a very, unique, intimate, and personal relationship, because as soon as a director, he has a script, there's a director, there's a script, and the first person they call is a casting director. We are one of the first people hired, and we sort of, in my opinion, and I believe we set the tone of the film. And we have in-depth conversations about each character. We start from, the biggest character to the day players. We break down the script. He or she tells me their vision of the movie, and we go into conversations, deep conversations about each character, and then I give my interpretation of it, and I usually will send them a list of actors who I think would be great for these roles, and we go back and forth. Who do you like? Who you don't like? And at the same time, I'm educating, my creatives on these actors. Some they don't know, some they do know. I'm showing them reels. I'm showing them magazines. I'm saying I saw this actor off Broadway. This one is on Broadway. This one is in London. And it's very collaborative. It's a very, very unique relationship. And a lot of folks don't know us because we start in pre-production. And by the time they start shooting in principal photography, everyone is on the set together for months. And at that point, I've moved on to, my next show. And, we work 8 to 10 weeks in the beginning. But it's about their vision, and I want to make sure that their vision is displayed through the auditions. But at the same time, I like to throw little curveballs and give new talent a chance. And, a lot of times it's been very successful. And that's what we do. But it's a very intimate, relationship that a lot of people, really don't know about. And you see the final product, you see the actor who booked the job, who's on the screen. But it took like I've auditioned so many actors for that one role. And it's, and I remember actors for different projects, at that point. And the director does too. And like Spike Lee, he loves actors, he knows actors. You have to be on point with him. And he'll say, hey, remember that actor we saw like 5 years ago? And I have to like really, dig into my, Rolodex in my brain and say, oh yeah, I remember that, remember that actor. So just so actors know, if you may not get the job that you audition for, just know that casting directors are thinking about you for other projects down the road.
Thank you, Kim. All right, now Ruth, you earned your first Oscar nomination for one of my favorite films and one of the most impactful films, of course, Malcolm X. Can you walk us through the process of how you immersed yourself, along with Spike and the rest of the creators behind the scene, to dig down into Malcolm X's life for what we finally saw, the finished product on film?
Okay, how much time you got?
Not a lot, because they're holding up signs.
I'll give you a little bit. So, one of the things that I did was, Malcolm X there was a lot of photography, but you really need to know what you're looking at. So you have to consult with people. One of the people we consulted with was the late Betty Shabazz, his wife. And I went over to Long Island University, where she was a professor, and I sat down with her, and she told me about her clothes and her life, and she told me how her parents actually didn't want her to become a Muslim. And they used to give her all of these beautiful clothes, suits and things that they wanted her to wear as she represented the Nation of Islam. The other thing I did was I did a letter writing campaign to the Department of Corrections in Massachusetts, because I really wanted to be able to make some decisions based on what we didn't see in the photography, because he had a whole life before he became this national speaker. And so I wrote these letters to the Department of Corrections, and I asked if I could see Malcolm X's files while he was in prison. And they gave me a date and a time to go to Boston. And I went to their office, and right on her desk, she had a full stack of files with letters that he had written, his booking photographs, all kinds of things. And I knew I didn't have time to sit there and read it all. So she sent me to a cubicle and directed me to the copy machine, and I copied the whole files, all of the files, and I took them with me, and I started to read chronologically his story while he was in prison, because that was the transition. That's when he went from Detroit Red and the Devil to Malcolm X, the national speaker. So I really wanted to see how it changed in his words. So I was reading letters that he had written to the commissioner about wanting to be transferred to other prisons where they had better libraries. He was educating himself. He was not signing Malcolm Little, he was signing Malcolm X. After some time in prison, he was greeting the commissioner with, Assalamu alaikum. So I started to see even a change in his penmanship. And even though you can't see pictures of the man, you can actually feel the essence of what was becoming more and more important to him. So when we created the look for the film, I had these quadrants that I could use to tell his story. The first quadrant was when he was a ballroom dancer and doing the Lindy Hop and wearing zoot suits. And so we wanted that to be colorful and big and broad. And then he becomes the national speaker that we know, Malcolm X. and now the nation is more buttoned up. But then, as he realizes that there's trouble and he takes his Hajj to Mecca, he goes to Mecca on a journey and he sees that there are Muslims of all races and all colors. So I could travel through Malcolm X and give you a color palette and a look for every section of his life.
The Let's Talk series with Hollywood movers and shakers. The Let's Talk series with Hollywood movers and shakers.
So, Kim, this year alone, you've worked on several films that are all very diverse. You know, They Clone Tyrone, Stamped from the Beginning, and The Burial. I've seen all three of these. None of these films are the same. Mm-hmm. Each film presents its own set of challenges, but talk about the experience of finding not just the talent for each of these films, but your shared vision with the directors on how you were able to simultaneously cast all these films.
Right. Well, all three of these films were, different, and the directors were all different in their process, in their journey to, to get these films made. But they were all very collaborative and open and excited for the casting process. They were all very specific about what they were looking for. They all had a particular vision, and they, I respected that, and we had many conversations, and it was just up to me. They Clone Tyrone was really a fun film to cast.
All right, ladies. God, I hate that we have to end this conversation because there's just so much that I really want to still talk to you guys about. But one more time, I want you guys to give it up for two-time Emmy nominee Kim Taylor Coleman and two-time Oscar-winning costume designer Ruth E. Carter. I love saying your name and just spreading it out.
H.U.
Yeah, no.
All right.
Girl, you went to Hampton.
Thank you.
H.U. I was talking about.
Thank you all.
Y'all gonna take that? Thank you guys for coming.
The Let's Talk series with Hollywood movers and shakers.